Hey guys, Michael here from michaelsherlock.com. I want to talk to you today about several rumors that have been swirling around the internet. These center around a 15-inch ultra-thin Mac laptop. Now, the first question that we have, because there aren't a lot of specifics about this rumor, is this a 15-inch MacBook Air, or is this a 15-inch MacBook Pro with an ultra-thin design? Now, I think that this will probably go under the MacBook Pro moniker. Simply put, the MacBook Air has become the mainstream laptop in Apple's lineup. You know, the MacBook Air 11-inch starts at $1,000. That plastic MacBook, the iconic design that we've seen change a little bit since the iBook days, is no longer in the lineup. So the lowest cost is that MacBook Air. I think that Apple will be marketing an ultra-thin 15-inch MacBook Pro as opposed to that MacBook Air, as I've already mentioned, simply because they want 15 and 17-inch to be that Pro laptop, and they want that 11-inch and 13-inch to be that consumer laptop. But they also want to have something that's very competitive. They need to have something that's 15 inches and something that most people can afford. So basically, how are they going to make this smaller? Components are still limited in terms of how small you can make it, but just simply taking out the optical drive, as Apple has done with the Mac Mini, will allow Apple to shrink the design even further. Now, one thing that I just need to say, and there's no speculation on this at this point, but I think it's very important to note that Apple must maintain the same power that is currently in the MacBook Pro line. That means they can't go to ultra low voltage or low voltage chips that are similar to what's in the MacBook Air line. They still have to stay with Core i7 CPUs, quad-core CPUs, as they have in the current MacBook Pro lineup. Otherwise, it doesn't matter how small they make it. If it's less powerful than it currently is, there's no reason for anyone to go after this MacBook Pro. The MacBook Pro has to be focused on prosumers and professional people who need a very powerful machine on the go. That's why the MacBook Air is in the lineup, because it's also an extremely portable machine, but it's one that can use low voltage components and can just go anywhere and is at a lower cost. I think the price points will probably remain the same for this 15-inch ultra-thin machine, and there's also speculation that SSD standard will be coming to that MacBook Pro line. Now, Apple does this with the MacBook Air because it goes from 64 gigabytes on the low end to 256 on the high end. A lot of people think, oh, well, the MacBook Pro would need to start at a higher, hard drive capacities. Of course, SSD's NAND storage is quite expensive. However, if Apple goes ahead and makes this a standard part of the MacBook Pro line, they'll be able to offer it at a significant discount just by the sheer quantity they'd have to order to mass produce a MacBook Pro line and a MacBook Air line that uses SSD standard. So it's actually a very interesting thing if Apple decides to go that route, because it'll help the consumer and it'll also drive prices down for SSDs in Apple's lineup, simply because of the sheer large quantity that they would have to buy. Now, other sources are claiming that there's also working on a 17-inch ultra-thin MacBook Pro. Basically, the gist of this is Apple's just trying to shrink everything down, and I think that going SSD standard would help that, as well as, dropping that optical drive. We've seen it again. The Mac Mini lost the optical drive. Lion isn't available on a DVD or CD directly from Apple, although you can burn one yourself with the DMG that you download from the Mac App Store. But of course, the Mac App Store in and of itself is also a diskless way of distributing content, and that's why I think it's definitely a very important thing to note that optical drives will probably be lost as we move forward. Now, when can we go ahead and see these? The sources and rumors are saying that these are in the final testing stage. Now, that's a load of crap. We don't actually know what that means. However, there's one thing to note. The last MacBook Pro refresh was back in February. Apple is a very methodical company. Their iProducts are updated once a year so far. Their MacBooks and MacBook Pros have always been updated twice a year, as well as their iMacs. The Mac Pro is usually updated once a year. So if we've seen the first MacBook Pro refresh of 2011 in February, it would not be too hard to venture that there's going to be another refresh in October, November, or late 2011. Now, I'm not sure if the next MacBook Pro refresh will in fact be these ultra-thin designs, but I can tell you that there will probably be another MacBook Pro refresh before the end of 2011, and it would be fantastic if Apple went ahead and released one with that ultra-thin design that they're said to be working on. Of course, I don't know any more than you. I'm not a tech wizard. I can't see the future, as I've said in the past, but I'm really excited for these rumors, and I think that as Apple continues to shrink their products down and continues to offer products with extremely powerful CPU and other components, I think that the lineup is bright for Apple's portable line for the years to come. I'm Michael Sherlock from michaelsherlock.com. Thanks for watching, guys. I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments section below. Do you think a quad-core ultra-thin MacBook Pro would be a killer consumer product or prosumer product? I think it would, but I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a nice day.